Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, if you hadn't heard, Star Wars Outlaws released earlier this week and turned out to be a broken and buggy mess that caused a lot of players to have a lot of issues, including their stealth system being absolutely ridiculous. And we've seen some of the gameplay, and we've gone over it on this channel before. Go check out some of our old videos of that, but it is showing how insanely bad and buggy this game is right from the very beginning. And now to go out there and to quote unquote fix all of those bugs and try to make a game that people played literally $100 to $130 just to get early access to, that is not working. Well, now their latest patch caused you to have to completely and totally restart the game, no matter how many hours you put in, no matter how much the fact that you paid over $100 just to get early access to the game and be able to play it before everybody else. Yes, all of that progress you had put in those days that you had paid for to have early access to the game, poof, it's all gone up in smoke. And needless to say, the fans are not happy, and Ubisoft's weak apology and pathetic attempt to make up for this is falling on deaf ears, and a lot of fans are pissed, to say the least, ladies and gentlemen. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about right here. Because the game from thegamer.com, Star Wars Outlaws fans are upset with Ubisoft's apology gift. Yeah, just a little bit. And we've also got this other wonderful article over here from IGN. Ubisoft gives annoyed Star Wars Outlaws PS5 players annoyed, a trinket and some loyalty points. So yes, boys and girls, after being a disastrous dumpster fire of once again concentrating on identity politics and agenda over good storytelling and good gameplay that actually works on launch, it's all turned into a disastrous dumpster fire, and Ubisoft has now made their fans even more upset because of the absolute BS nonsense apology they are trying to give. So we're going to check out these articles. We're going to get into all the juicy details of exactly what that apology and supposed gifts that you're getting to make up for the $100 you spent or more to get early access to this game. But before we end all the reactions out there, but before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, because boys and girls, we are grinding, we are growing, and we are getting farther and farther up there in the algorithm. And I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment on the section down below. Were you one of those out there that actually did pre-order this game? Do you feel absolutely cheated by Ubisoft and Disney Lucasfilm out there by this kind of thing? Or are you one of those that saw the writing on the wall right from the very beginning and was like, no way in hell? And now we've all been proven right that we completely and totally avoided this game. All right, from thegamer.com, Star Wars Outlaws fans are upset with Ubisoft's apology gift. In case you missed it, Star Wars Outlaws had some pretty nasty game-breaking bugs on the PlayStation 5. And honestly, across a lot of other platforms too. Those bugs prompted Ubisoft to send an email requesting players to update their version of the game, as well as begin a new save file in order to fully enjoy Star Wars Outlaws as our team intended. Yeah, I don't know. Here's a thought. Maybe if you want people to enjoy your game from the beginning, right, and considering they paid $100 to $130 for early access, maybe you should release a non-broken game. Maybe your team should have put some effort into that from the beginning so people didn't have to waste hours of their lives only to have to restart completely and totally over. And if you don't restart your game, if you continue on a prior save, you will unfortunately face issues and progression blockers. Yes, that's right, boys and girls. You won't be able to finish the game you started unless you update and do a complete and total reboot of your game. Yeah, I wonder why players are a little upset. While the full game won't be released until actually today at the time of the recording, August 30th, Normus players have been playing the game early via the Gold Edition, $110, and the Ultimate Edition, $130. In other words, these hardcore Star Wars fanatics, the kind that are paying big money to play early, and the streamers out there don't want to show how bad this game was, they are also the ones being impacted by the most by having to restart from scratch. So yes, all of those Disney, Lucasfilm, Star Wars hardcore fans that weren't able to see the writing on the wall or maybe held out some kind of false hope that this game was actually going to be good after everything else we'd seen in the media. Yes, the Disney Star Wars stans are the ones that get screwed over by the most for this kind of thing. So in order to make up for it, Ubisoft has given PS5 players in-game trinkets and Ubisoft Connect units. Yes, let's get over here to that wonderful little apology. Ubisoft gives annoyed Star Wars players, outlaw PS5 players who paid to play early but lost all progress, a trinket and some loyalty points no one wants. And shout out to Wesley in Pool for this headline. I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further. So Ubisoft's initial message was telling everybody what they had to do as far as all of that kind of stuff. And then what do we got here now? So Ubisoft's latest message sent to affected players via email. We're following up on the previous email we sent you regarding issues with an outdated version on PlayStation 5. Oh, an outdated version? You mean the one you had ready to go at launch? That's the outdated version, the one that everybody paid $110 to $130 for. That version is the one you're talking about. That outdated version, the one you decided to release day one of your early access. Yes, that version. We fully acknowledge that asking you to start a new game is not the best experience, especially during the early access period. Yeah, it's not the best experience to have wasted 6 to 12 hours or however long you invested into this game to have to completely and totally restart. And yes, especially during the early access period. You know, the one you paid $110 to $130 to get access to? Yeah, I wonder why some people are upset. And for that, we apologize. Oh, yes. Oh, they're apologizing. They're so sorry that they took your money and ran with it, that they're going to give you some things that literally don't cost them anything to produce in any way, shape, or form. To make your return to the Outer Rim a little more special, we're granting you an in-game Trailblazer trinket. Oh, yay! You get a trinket for your $130 that you blew getting early access to this game. Joy! As well as 100 Ubisoft Connect units to redeem for in-game awards, for example. Oh, yay! In-game rewards. So for a bunch of skins and a bunch of stuff that actually don't help you progress any farther in the game that you already paid early access to get ahead of the game on everybody else for $130. Oh, color us shocked there. But this is the best part. Those 100 Ubisoft bucks that they give you, you can't even use right away. We're working on actively adding the Ubisoft Connect units to your account so you can use these as soon as possible. And you can collect a trinket from the delivery crate in the back of the Trailblazer once you reach Toshara. So it's not even anything you can use from the second you launch the new game. No, you have to make progress in a game you've already made progress in to a point that you've probably already gotten past in order to even use their sweet little in-game currency. How wonderful. Aren't they so kind? Aren't they making up for the $130 you blew on this game to have early access? Aren't they sweet? Aren't your overlords kind? We appreciate your patience, and we hope you enjoy the game. Yeah, needless to say at all, the units are already being called worthless by some disgruntled players. I lost 15 hours of progress, and it just goes on from there. So needless to say, another reason, as some people said, another reason to never buy early access. How many times are we going to continue to get burned by these companies that do that? And don't get me wrong, I'm a person that got Hogwarts Legacy early access. I got the highest in little. I paid the $90 for the little fancy edition, so I'd have all the little extra fun things and got access to it early. And even though I didn't even realize that at the time, and guess what? That game worked practically flawlessly in the early access. And there was certainly no game-breaking bugs that made all of the hours you spent in Hogwarts Legacy, you had to go back and start all over. No. You got to keep your save file. But no, Ubisoft wasn't willing to work hard enough for you for that. To make a patch that would actually work and make everything process. No, all they were worried about was making a patch that would cover their butts so we couldn't keep our screen recording and showing off how bad and broken this game was. So yeah, they didn't actually care about you. Their consideration wasn't for you. It was for covering their own butts. And so they tossed you some trinkets. Here you go. Here you go. You go, have a little bit of little fun stuff. Oh, you're just a dumb gamer. You'll enjoy this. Here you go, surf. Take your peasant little poultries that we are overlords are willing to give out to you. Well, needless to say, people aren't happy. Taking to the Star Wars Outlaws subreddit, numerous PS5 players made their frustrations known as a mega thread not just a regular thread, a mega thread, detailing Ubisoft's consolation gift. One gamer reported that they had lost 15 hours of progress due to the forced restart. Elsewhere, another player shared the unfortunate situation they found themselves in, writing, "I'm 20 hours in with 3 maxed out experts and a max infinity with piles and all others at good standing. This makes me just want to pack it in." And why wouldn't you? 20 hours into a game, basically beat the game, worked out all this other stuff, maxed out all this stuff. And now they're telling you have to restart your entire game or you won't be able to finish it. Another user took issues with the free gift. For 100 Ubi credits and a trinket that may as well have the devs ambush you with paintball guns. Yay. The sentiment was echoed by a separate player who wrote, "Those credits are worthless. Basically, anyone who paid to play early lost all progress and has to start anew, losing out on the early access benefit. Yes, what you paid $110 to $130 for. $50 to $60 to $70 over the regular price of this game at $70. You paid all of that money, that $30 to $50 over. All to get a broken, buggy mess that causes you to have to completely and totally restart." No matter which way you look at it, the end result is a load of unhappy players. Had the game worked as intended, then there would be no upset players or need for compensatory items. But it didn't. And what's being given clearly doesn't make up for the fact that people shelled out more than the standard cost of a AAA game only to be told to restart. Yes, boys and girls, a game made by a company who has been making games for literal well over a decade, almost 2 at this point, Ubisoft, could not release an actual properly working game for the people who paid $130 for it, well above the regular AAA price game, only to have a broken, buggy mess of a game whose graphics look like they're literally out of Star Wars Shadows of the Empire, a Nintendo 64 game, all because they decided to make sure that they were pushing an agenda in their marketing. They were making sure that they owned the chuds out there by travestingly making a gorgeous character actor into something hideous that we saw in the game, only to make it even more ugly in the actual broken released game. And now, to all you serfs out there, Ubisoft is now letting you know that here's some trinkets, here's a little 100 coins that you can't even use, that aren't going to help you get better or faster or make up for all the hours of lost, potentially 20 hours that you've lost already playing the game. No. Here's your crumbs, peasant. Be happy with it. We'll enjoy the millions of dollars we raked off of all of you fools out there who decided to pre-order a broken game. Boy, I can't wait to see how wonderful Assassin's Creed Shadows is. If this is the kind of quality Ubisoft continues to put out and acts for, well, guess what? Your days of early access and people buying that kind of stuff early on and pre-ordering games is only going to go faster down the toilet, Ubisoft. You have officially damaged your own personal brand. Disney Star Wars has now been damaged because of this, even if that's even possible to do even more damage to that. And you have a bunch of pissed off players, the stands, that are the only ones that trusted you to buy this game early access out there. And now they are telling you they don't want this. They're pissed off. So guess what, Ubisoft? You did it to yourselves. You decided to concentrate on agenda over making sure you had a non-broken game that actually functioned properly, that people paid $130 for, all because you wanted to own the chuds. Who's laughing now? Who's winning now? Enjoy losing hundreds of millions of dollars on a game where once again you decided to go woke. Not only will you go broke, but you also gave us a broken game. After all, Disney, Star Wars, and Ubisoft, you did it to yourself, and you get exactly what you deserve.